Have you ever faced an adversary, not just in battle, but in life? A colleague who undermines you, a friend who betrays your trust, or an online stranger who seems determined to provoke you? The natural response is to fight back, to prove them wrong, to win. But what if true victory comes not from crushing your enemy, but from rendering them powerless without ever lifting a finger? The Stoics, masters of resilience and wisdom, understood that the greatest battles are fought within. Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius all taught that control over one's mind is the highest form of strength. In this video, you'll discover 12 Stoic ways to neutralize your enemies without conflict, strategies that transform opposition into opportunity and replace anger with unshakable composure. These methods demand patience, discipline, and a deeper understanding of human nature, but their rewards are far greater than fleeting revenge. Inner peace, lasting influence, and mastery over yourself. So, if you're ready to face challenges with the wisdom of a true Stoic, stay with me. And if you find value in timeless strategies for life's toughest moments, consider subscribing. After all, the strongest warrior is the one who needs no war. 1. Delve into the depths of your adversary. Imagine standing at the edge of a raging river, its surface a chaotic swirl of foam and fury, its currents pulling wildly beneath. A reckless man would jump in, thrashing against the tide. But a Stoic, he would pause. He would study the river not for its surface turbulence, but for its hidden depths. Conflict, like that river, can be deceiving. When an adversary opposes you, your first impulse may be to react, to argue, to attack, to defend. But what if instead of engaging in battle, you sought to understand? Epictetus reminds us, it is not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Your enemy is not merely their words or actions. They are a product of unseen fears, desires, and past wounds. To dismantle an enemy without combat, begin by stepping back. Inhale deeply, detach from the moment. Observe the situation as if you were a fly on the wall, stripping it of personal bias. What do they truly want? What drives their hostility? Is it insecurity? A need for validation? A wound left unhealed? When you cease reacting and begin investigating, you rob them of their ability to provoke you. Rather than crafting a counter-argument, ask genuine questions. What brought you to this belief? What is it you fear losing? The goal is not agreement, but clarity. See through their eyes, not to justify their actions, but to grasp the forces shaping them. Every enemy has a story, and within that story lies the key to neutralizing their influence over you. Conflict rarely arises from mere words. It stems from unmet needs, hidden fears, and unresolved pain. Look beyond the argument. What is truly at stake for them? When you shift your focus from reacting to understanding, you gain an advantage few possess: control over yourself. And in doing so, you shift the balance of power. Like a geologist reading the layers of stone to understand the land, you must read the layers of your adversary's mind. With patience and perception, the raging river of conflict will transform into a quiet stream, where resolution and wisdom can be found beneath the surface. 2. Choose your battles wisely. Life is filled with conflicts, political debates, petty arguments, and heated confrontations in parking lots. But as the Stoics teach us, not every stone in our path is worth stumbling over. Engaging in every dispute drains our energy, scattering our focus on matters that, in the grand scheme of things, hold little value. A wise Stoic does not fight every battle. They choose them with precision. Imagine standing on a vast battlefield. Every disagreement, every insult, every challenge is a call to arms. The impulsive warrior charges into every fight, exhausting himself in skirmishes that do nothing to advance his cause. The Stoic, however, pauses. He surveys the terrain. He asks himself, is this battle worthy of my time? Will it affect my well-being, my principles, or the things I hold dear? If the answer is no, he simply walks away. Seneca offers us a powerful strategy: delay. The greatest remedy for anger is delay, he wrote. In the heat of the moment, emotions distort our judgment, making trivial conflicts feel monumental. But if we pause, if we allow anger to settle like dust in the wind, we often see things clearly. Most disputes, when given time, resolve themselves or reveal their insignificance. Epictetus reminds us, it is not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them. When faced with conflict, ask yourself, does this truly impact my values, my well-being, or my purpose, or is it merely a fleeting irritation? Many battles are nothing more than stones in the road, small, insignificant, and unworthy of our energy. By learning to distinguish between the trivial and the essential, we sharpen our ability to engage where it truly matters. Marcus Aurelius, too, understood the power of silence. He knew that restraint is often the greatest strength. You always have the option of having no opinion, he wrote. Not every slight requires a response. Not every insult demands a defense. Sometimes the most powerful move is to simply let go, to refuse to give the conflict power over you. Every battle has a cost. Engaging means expending mental energy, time, and emotional stability. Before stepping into the fray, ask yourself, what is the true price of this fight? Winning an argument might satisfy the ego, but if it drains your peace, is it truly a victory? Often the highest form of strength is knowing when to walk away, not in surrender, but in mastery of oneself. To choose your battles wisely is not weakness, nor is it apathy. It is the recognition that your time, energy, and peace of mind are finite. Spend them where they matter. Let the rest pass like the wind. 3. Speak with calm and clarity. Picture yourself standing before your adversary, not with clenched fists or sharp words, but with steady composure and measured speech. The untrained mind meets conflict with noise, aggression, and accusation, but the Stoic understands that true power lies in calm clarity. Words, when wielded with precision, can disarm an enemy faster than any outburst ever could. Seneca reminds us, a sword never kills anybody. It is a tool in the killer's hand. The same is true of words. They can wound or heal, escalate or diffuse. To master conflict, you must first master your speech. Listen intently, not merely waiting for your turn to speak, but striving to understand. Pay attention, not just to words, but to tone, posture, and unspoken fears. Resist the urge to interrupt. A thoughtful nod, steady eye contact. These small gestures show strength without aggression. Empathy does not mean agreement, but it does mean respect. Acknowledge their emotions, even if their reasoning is flawed. A simple statement like, "I see that this matters to you," can transform hostility into dialogue. People do not listen to those who dismiss them. They engage with those who make them feel heard. When it is time to speak, do so with control. Blame and accusation only breed defensiveness. Instead of saying, "You always do this," say, "I feel unheard when this happens." Instead of, "You're wrong," say, "I see things differently." This approach keeps the conversation constructive rather than combative, allowing solutions to emerge instead of deepening the divide. True strength is not in raising your voice, but in making your words matter. Speak firmly, but without malice. Maintain a composed tone, not out of fear, but out of mastery over yourself. The moment you allow anger to dictate your words, you hand your power over to the other person. Remember, the goal is not to win an argument, but to resolve it. Ask, how can we move forward from this, rather than, how can I prove I'm right? When the focus shifts from dominance to understanding, conflict loses its power. Calm, clear speech is not a sign of weakness, but a mark of wisdom. It takes practice, patience, and self-restraint. But the more you master your words, the more you will find that even the fiercest adversary has no weapon against a mind at peace. 4. Seek the shared path picture. Two climbers scaling opposite sides of a mountain. From below, their paths seem separate, their journeys distinct. Yet, as they ascend, they realize their routes converge toward the same summit, a place of mutual understanding. This is the essence of the Stoic approach to conflict. Rather than seeing the other as an obstacle, seek the common path that leads to resolution. The Stoics teach that beneath our disagreements lie shared human experiences, desires for respect, security, and meaning. While conflicts make it seem as though our goals are irreconcilable, wisdom urges us to look deeper. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "What injures the hive injures the bee." We are interconnected, whether we acknowledge it or not. Recognizing this truth is a powerful tool for dissolving hostility. To practice this, shift your mindset from me versus you to us versus the problem. Instead of fixating on winning, ask, what do we both ultimately want? Even in opposition, there are often overlapping interests. Identifying them transforms conflict from a battlefield into a shared journey toward resolution. Look beyond surface-level disagreements. Often, clashing demands stem from the same fundamental needs, a desire for respect, autonomy, or fairness. When you understand this, you stop reacting to words and start addressing the emotions behind them. A perceived enemy may simply be someone fighting for the same things you are, but from a different angle. Shared values are another bridge to understanding. Beneath opposing positions, there is often a foundation of common principles. Do you both value honesty, justice, security? When you find these underlying connections, you create a moral compass that guides the conversation toward solutions rather than division. Start small. Progress is built on small agreements, no matter how trivial they seem. A simple acknowledgement, a minor concession, each is a step toward trust. Like a climber securing footholds, these small moments of alignment make it easier to navigate the larger challenges ahead. Patience is essential. Agreement is not always immediate, nor is understanding instantaneous. But every effort toward common ground is a step away from unnecessary conflict. As you shift your focus from opposition to connection, you lay the foundation for cooperation, and in doing so, you render your enemy powerless. Those who ascend together, guided by shared values, will always reach greater heights than those who fight over the climb. 5. Appeal to their inner values. Imagine standing before a towering oak tree, its roots deeply entwined with the earth. No amount of brute force will move it, but the patient influence of wind and water can shape its course over time. This is the Stoic way of persuasion. Rather than attacking a person's stance head-on, appeal to the very foundation of their beliefs. People are not moved by pressure. They are moved by alignment with their own deepest values. Instead of trying to overpower an opponent, seek to understand them. What principles guide their actions? What ideals do they hold sacred? Pay attention to the words they use, the causes they defend, and the values they admire in others. This will reveal the landscape of their inner world, a map that, when read correctly, can lead to meaningful resolution. The key is to bridge the gap, not widen it. Even in conflict, there are often shared values beneath the surface: justice, loyalty, truth, or fairness. Identify these common threads and use them as a foundation for your argument. Rather than framing your position as opposition, present it as an extension of what they already believe. Speak their language, not to manipulate, but to connect. Tailor your message in a way that resonates with their concerns. Show them how the path you propose aligns with their principles. Words alone are not enough. Demonstrate through action and example. Let them see that what you advocate is not a demand, but a natural expression of values they already hold. Most importantly, approach with respect, not domination. The goal is not to force compliance, but to guide toward understanding. When people feel respected, they are far more likely to listen. When they see their values reflected in a solution, they are far more likely to embrace it. True persuasion does not come from coercion, but from resonance. A mind changed by force will resist, but a mind that sees harmony between its beliefs and your words will shift willingly. Master this, and you will move even the most immovable of adversaries, not by breaking them, but by leading them to a truth they can call their own. 6. Using humor. Wisely in conflict resolution. Imagine walking a tightrope stretched over a deep chasm. One misstep, and you plummet into offense and misunderstanding. Humor, when used wisely, is like a balancing pole, helping you stay upright, easing tension, and guiding a heated exchange toward resolution rather than destruction. A well-timed jest can act as a pressure valve, releasing pent-up frustration and opening the door to dialogue. But as Seneca warns, a joke is a delicate thing. What is meant in jest may turn into an insult. Thus, humor must be wielded with both skill and restraint. First, know your audience. Not everyone shares the same sense of humor, and what is amusing to one person may offend another. Before making a joke, consider their personality, values, and emotional state. Ask yourself, will this lighten the mood, or will it make things worse? When in doubt, err on the side of caution. Trust is far easier to preserve than to rebuild. Use humor to create connection, not division. Laughter should be shared, not wielded as a weapon. Avoid sarcasm, ridicule, or anything that diminishes the other person. Self-deprecating humor is often a safer choice, as it demonstrates humility and a willingness to acknowledge one's own imperfections, qualities that disarm hostility rather than fuel it. Timing is everything. If emotions are still raw, humor can backfire, making the other person feel mocked rather than understood. Before injecting levity, assess the situation carefully. Sometimes a pause, a calm breath, or a simple nod of acknowledgement is more effective than an ill-placed joke. Never let humor replace genuine dialogue. It is a tool, not a crutch. While it can ease tension, it should never be used to dodge difficult conversations or avoid responsibility. A conflict resolved with laughter alone, without addressing the real issues, is merely postponed, not settled. When used with wisdom, humor can transform conflict into connection. It has the power to dissolve walls, soften defenses, and remind us of our shared humanity. The key is to use it not as a means to dominate, but as a bridge to understanding. In this way, laughter ceases to be a mere reaction. it becomes a strategy for peace. 7. Offer empathy. Imagine standing on a rugged mountain trail, facing a fellow climber on the opposite side of a deep chasm. Their frustration echoes through the valley like a storm, and the instinct may be to shout back. But the Stoic way is to descend, bridge the gap, and extend a steady hand. Empathy is not surrender. It is strength in understanding. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself, what fault of mine most resembles the one I'm about to criticize? Instead of reacting, pause. Step into their world. What fears or experiences shape their perspective? Often, anger is merely the surface of a deeper wound. Listen, not just to words, but to tone, hesitation, and unspoken emotions. Acknowledge their feelings without condoning their actions. Simple phrases like, "I see this matters to you," or "I hear your frustration," can dissolve hostility and open the door to resolution. Empathy is not weakness. It is a tool for wisdom. When you connect instead of condemn, you replace conflict with clarity. And in that clarity, you gain the ultimate power, not over them, but over yourself. 8. Embrace the art of compromise. Imagine a mighty oak standing firm against the wind, its branches resisting, unyielding. Push too hard, and it may break, but when it bends, it survives. Conflict is much the same. The Stoic does not see compromise as surrender, but as wisdom, the ability to adapt without losing strength. Epictetus reminds us, seek not to have things happen as you wish, but rather wish them to happen as they do. True power lies in working with reality, not against it. Instead of treating conflict as a battlefield, reframe it as a shared challenge. What do you and your opponent both value? Fairness, respect, stability? Finding common ground transforms opposition into cooperation. Not every hill is worth dying on. Prioritize what truly matters and let go of what doesn't. A strong compromise is not about one side winning, but about creating a resolution where both feel heard. Patience and flexibility are key. Compromise is not a single act, but an ongoing process of balance and adjustment. Like the wind and the oak, true strength lies in knowing when to stand firm and when to bend with grace. 9. Seek external aid without shame. Picture yourself trapped in a thicket of thorns, each step forward met with resistance, each movement tightening the snare. Conflict can feel the same, a struggle with no clear way out, where words become weapons and understanding seems impossible. But the Stoics remind us that we do not have to navigate every challenge alone. Seeking external aid is not a sign of weakness, but of wisdom, a testament to our commitment to resolution rather than endless strife. When communication breaks down, a neutral third party, a mediator, mentor, or counselor, can serve as a guide through the chaos. Just as a Stoic philosopher helps their students find clarity, an impartial voice can cut through emotional entanglements, ensuring both sides are heard and valued. Strong emotions often cloud judgment, making it difficult to articulate thoughts clearly or truly grasp another's perspective. A skilled facilitator helps untangle these knots, creating space for productive dialogue. Conflict is often fueled by misunderstanding. A mediator acts as a bridge, translating intent where hostility distorts meaning, encouraging empathy where resentment builds walls. Through structured conversation, they redirect energy from blame to solution, from confrontation to cooperation. Beyond resolving the immediate dispute, external aid provides tools for future challenges. Skills in communication, patience, and emotional regulation that strengthen relationships and prevent future conflicts from escalating. Asking for help is not surrender, it is strategy. Marcus Aurelius sought counsel from trusted advisors, knowing that wisdom does not reside in one mind alone. To seek guidance is to show strength, the strength to rise above ego and choose resolution over endless battle. When we embrace this truth, we turn conflict into an opportunity for growth, forging a path not just to victory, but to understanding. 10. Forgiveness. Imagine being chained to a massive rock, its weight dragging you down, its jagged edges cutting into your flesh. This is the burden of resentment, heavy, painful, and immobilizing. The Stoics teach that forgiveness is not about excusing the past or condoning another's actions. It is about freeing yourself from the grip of anger and reclaiming your peace. Seneca reminds us, "He who seeks revenge keeps his wounds open. Holding on to bitterness harms you far more than the one who wronged you. It drains your energy, clouds your judgment, and keeps you locked in a battle that exists only in your mind." Forgiveness, then, is not a gift to them. It is a gift to yourself. Shift the focus from them to you. Recognize that releasing resentment is an act of self-preservation. This doesn't mean forgetting, but rather letting go of the emotions that chain you to the past. Learn from the experience, but do not let it define you. Forgiveness is not a single act, but a practice. When anger resurfaces, consciously choose to release it. Meditation, journaling, or simply reminding yourself of the weight you refuse to carry can reinforce this mindset. To forgive is not to surrender. It is to reclaim control. It is an act of strength, a declaration that your peace is more valuable than your pain. So breathe deeply, unshackle yourself from the past, and step forward into freedom. 11. Growth from the ashes of conflict. Imagine a phoenix rising from the fire, transformed, stronger, and wiser than before. This is the essence of the Stoic approach to conflict, not to fear it, but to use it as fuel for growth. Epictetus reminds us, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." Every disagreement holds a lesson, if only we have the courage to seek it. Adopt the mindset of a learner. See conflict not as a disruption, but as an opportunity to refine your character. Reflect deeply. What triggered your emotions? Which values felt threatened? How did you respond, and what could have been done differently? True wisdom begins with honest self-examination. Turn insight into action. If you struggle to communicate, practice active listening. If emotions overpowered reason, cultivate mindfulness. Seek guidance from trusted mentors who can offer perspective and hold you accountable. Growth is a process, not an event. Be patient with yourself. Every challenge, every mistake is a step toward becoming a stronger, more composed version of yourself. From the ashes of conflict, you do not simply recover, you evolve. And in that evolution, you render your enemies powerless. 12th, setting boundaries. Imagine standing on a serene beach, waves gently lapping at your feet, but suddenly someone steps too close, disrupting your peace. In life, this invasion of space, whether physical, emotional, or mental, can drain your energy and disturb your inner calm. The Stoics teach that while we cannot control others, we can control how we respond. Setting boundaries is not about building walls, but about safeguarding your well-being with clarity and strength. Epictetus reminds us, "It is not events that disturb us, but our view of them." To protect your peace, first identify what truly matters. What behaviors uplift you? What actions drain or disrespect you? Understanding your inner limits is the foundation for effective boundaries. Communicate with calm and clarity. Use I statements to express your needs without hostility. "I need space to focus," rather than "you're always interrupting me." Consistency is key. Once a boundary is set, stand firm. Do not let guilt or pressure erode the limits you have rightfully placed. Not everyone will welcome your boundaries, but that is their burden, not yours. As Seneca teaches, a life of joy and gratitude comes from within. By honoring your own space, you cultivate freedom, respect, and lasting tranquility. These Stoic strategies transform conflict from a battleground into a path of wisdom, resilience, and inner peace. True victory is not in crushing your enemy, but in mastering yourself, rising above anger, staying composed, and turning adversity into strength. If these insights resonated with you, leave a comment below. What Stoic principle do you find most powerful? Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss a lesson in timeless wisdom. Remember, the strongest warrior is the one who no longer needs to fight. Stay tuned. Our next video will take your Stoic mindset even deeper. See you soon.